Well, Bob, we heard it was a great kickoff. We'll hear more about it later in the newscast, but for the Making Strides walk
Oh, it was
up.
unbelievable, and I'm very proud of my wife. Did a great job there. I guess
speech.
yes, she did. And I'll get motivated for the big walk in October. More on that in a little bit. But we heard some good news, too, earlier in the newscast, Haley. This thing is not all that impressive. Doesn't mean it won't be around in a few days, but it looks like it has to redevelop another low, and so it's not going to be a big system at all as it gets close to the southeastern portion of Florida, it looks like. Here's what's happening with the nice tower cam shot. And you can see a little shower activity today, but a lot of it was near the coast due to the strong east winds, those northeast winds. It will be breezy, too, as this tropical wave gets closer to us over the upcoming weekend, so keep that in mind, too. As far as the radar picture goes, boy, some big storms firing up off in the Gulf of Mexico. In fact, one of the long-range computer forecast models do indicate that off the coast of Texas there may be a little spin-up. And this is the time of year things happen, and they happen very quickly, too. You can notice, look at this little spin right here in a counterclockwise swirl. There's Haley for the most part. She's not spinning. She's sitting right there. But this is spinning a little bit around just off the coast of Fort Myers and Marco Island. It continues to head off to the west. And then some dying showers along the east coast. And I think our atmosphere, and you can feel it tonight, a little bit more humid out there, and that's a result of that tropical air coming our way associated with that tropical wave. Right now, not much going on out there. In fact, today's rainfall totals pretty light and not very impressive at all. A few showers just south of Northport into Port Charlotte and Punta Gorda. A little bit of a sporadic rainfall near Sarasota and one or two lone showers in Parrish. Currently, we still have clouds. It is still warm. We had another very hot day today, 83 degrees. Our current temperature dew point is at 70. That's the result of the east wind now at 6 miles an hour. And as far as the high goes, well, there it is, 97 degrees. It has been one of the hottest weeks I can remember. 97. That eclipsed the old mark of 96 set back in 1989. And we'll get warm again tomorrow. Mid-90s not out of the question because of that east and northeasterly wind. No rainfall reported for the month now. We're a few inches below average, at least a couple inches at the airport. Temperatures statewide all pretty much in the 80s now as a result of a lack of rain across the state. There are some 70s well inland in places like Arcadia, Lake Placid, and Punta Gorda. The water temperature 85 degrees, and that could be a factor later on next week if the storm tracks into the eastern Gulf of Mexico. And there are still some models that are suggesting that. The overall satellite and radar picture shows this high pressure ridge, which is clearing skies out all across most of the Carolinas and throughout Georgia. This high will actually slip off a little bit to the east. And the reason why some of the models are suggesting more of a westerly turn with this system is because of the fact that it's not very intense. If it gets stronger, a lot of times those storms have a tendency to catch into the mid-levels of the atmosphere and work differently as far as it goes. This is still a tropical storm being sheared apart there, too, out there into the Atlantic. As far as the radar picture goes, nothing going on now near San Juan, but boy, they had some big rain yesterday. And you can see from the satellite imagery, they've had a lot of rainfall into Haiti where they need it. They've been going through a drought there. Here's the forecast path and track. I'm stopping this at around Saturday, right around midnight or close to it. Let's say 11 o'clock on Saturday night. The storm system, if it is a storm system, will be close to the southeast coast of Florida. And then Sunday, there's a couple of models. These are Canadian models showing it going right across the state, while majority of the models take it west of our area. And this would be the best scenario for us. However, there's a lot of warm water temperatures down here. And there's still a suggestion that the models may, or a couple of them may, scoot it by on the eastern Gulf of Mexico. But it's going to be redeveloping. So it's going to be hard to figure out until it gets a circulation closed around the center of it. And temperatures very warm, as I mentioned, in that area. This is the shear forecast. The blue area indicates the heavy shear. Well, that's going away. And we're going to say favorable conditions all throughout this region over the next couple of days. So through Saturday, it will have a chance to redevelop and possibly strengthen into a tropical storm. That's what it would be if it were to develop in the next couple of days, because it just cannot generate, we don't think at this point, any kind of hurricane. The Gaston is out there in the Atlantic, not doing a whole lot for anything except for shipping interest. As far as the boating forecast goes, tomorrow, northeast winds 5 to 10 knots. And it looks like the water temperature really 85 degrees, and beaches will see a high near 90 degrees. And the forecast is calling for generally warm and muggy conditions overnight. Storms well offshore dying down. Tomorrow, a 50% chance of rain, a high of 94. And the extended forecast calling for better chances for showers and storms. And look out Monday and Tuesday. We'll keep an eye on it. It's not definite right now, but